Hey everyone, I'm T.O., Ironman and Ironman 70.3 champion and ITU long distance world champion. These are some of my running tips. Cadence is a very important part of efficient running, especially in a marathon. Your efficiency comes with keeping a high cadence. So I make sure I try to maintain, over 90 for my cadence, especially when I'm running, and that really keeps me moving and my momentum going at the end of an Ironman. I've incorporated plyometrics as a key part of my run training. The time on ground that your feet spend is important to really focus on, and the less time that your feet are touching the ground, the quicker you're moving. So plyometrics bring more explosiveness to your step and more strength, so you can get those feet moving quickly. I've naturally been a heel striker my entire racing career, but this year, running in my Newtons, I've really improved on my form and I've become much more of a midfoot striker. And one of the things I've learned to do is relax my shins a little bit and make sure they're not tense, so when they hit the ground, they allow for a little more flexibility and a little more midfoot strike. One of the most important factors of good running form is really core strength. And being able to run from your core and your hips is very important. Getting your foot strike right below your hips and being able to propel out of the back helps, keep your momentum moving. And having that hip flexibility really allows for a smooth stride. Monitoring your form during your run training can be a very helpful tool to improving your performances. If you're running with a friend, let them know some of the things to look for that might be signs that you're starting to fade on your form. If you're running indoors, it's always good to have a mirror by the treadmill so you can keep an eye on your form yourself. Personally, I use some cues to make sure that I'm still staying strong. One of those is relaxing my shoulders, and then also activating my core and making sure my glutes are engaged. Always allows me to stand tall when I'm running. For me, my biggest improvements as a runner came when I had knowledgeable coaches having eyes on me and letting me know what I needed to fix and how to fix it. And that's really a service that's available to anybody. And if you're local here in Boulder, come on down to the Newton Running Lab. And on Saturdays, there's great running clinics. You can get your form evaluated and work with Danny and learn what you need to improve and how to improve it so you can become a better runner. One of the hardest things about training for a triathlon is learning how much you can do and how much you should do. When it comes down to it, there's too much training. We can do more training than we need to do or can even absorb. So as a professional, I've learned over the years how to really tune into what I need and try not to do any more than that. It's important to really prioritize several key sessions and then be honest with yourself and be able to evaluate your body and know how you're reacting and how you're absorbing it. Caution is usually a friend of yours when you're training for a triathlon. I came from a swimming background, so when I started running, it was a sport that was very foreign to me. The most important thing I did was have patience with my running. I took time to really develop my training and build on my miles to avoid injury. And I think consistent training and staying injury-free is really the most important part about starting your run training. One of the best things about the off-season is being able to mix up my training, and I really love to do some fun exploratory running, some trail running, and I think it's important to have the right shoe for that. So I always put on my Newton Bocos when I hit the trails in the winter. Conditions can be rough, snow and slush and ice, and you want to be safe out there and you want to have a good time, so you got to have the right equipment. In the off-season, I really feel it's important to step away from the sport for a little bit. Personally, I like to drink a fair amount of red wine. And when it comes to training, I try to do something different. We'll go cross-country skiing or mountain biking. Just something different from what you're always doing day in and day out. Not so much for the body, but really for the mind, to clear the head and make sure you're mentally ready for the next season to start.